corruption of material that was being sent to Ukraine, and that it was ending up in Africa and it was ending up in strange places. And the inference was that this was institutionalized corruption, and that Ukraine was deliberately misdirecting product in order for people to get rich. And I said, well, look, it's a war. And in a war, hundreds of millions of dollars worth of equipment is moved on a daily basis, and there is going to be theft. It's always going to be the case that there's going to be theft when you're moving that amount of material. It doesn't imply and it doesn't mean that there's any kind of institutionalized corruption behind it. It just means that there are thieves involved, and there will always be thieves when there's money around. And that kind of story, which again supports the Russian propaganda system, it feeds into them. And I ask questions. I say, what the hell are you guys doing reporting stories like this when you have absolutely no clear, concrete evidence? What you're doing is suggesting something, and then you're undermining the West's ability to support Ukraine in its war.
Yeah, I would respect them more if they actually went then themselves, organized aid or whatever, and saw the whole process of their circle of connections. So even if there was a lot of missing weapons and stuff like that, how much money have you actually given to Ukraine? Have you actually done anything to lift your finger? Because you can, if you don't trust that the aid will get there, at least you can help a few people. You could get some contacts in Ukraine and deliver aid yourself, drive the aid there, and make sure it gets to you can physically give it to the people, like refugees,
Yeah, follow it. Don't sit in Morocco and write a story about it. Follow it. Go down the line. See the difficulties. See how hard it is. Watch the food get to the front line. Watch the ammunition get to the front lines. Watch the bodies coming back. That's where they really need to be. And when they do, they should be filming what's going on, not filming themselves, because there's so many journalists now, embedded or otherwise, who turn up in a situation, and the camera's on them all the time. The camera's not on the victims of the war. The camera's not on the soldiers. The camera's not on the action. The camera's on the journalist. So the journalist is there to make a name for themselves sometimes. That doesn't apply to all of them, and credit to some of them for being there. But there are those that just want to make a name for themselves.
Yeah, and the people that don't, for whatever reason, don't like Ukraine, it's almost like they want Ukraine to be defeated. And so if Ukraine's defeated, what is the future outcome for the West? You're going to